So I'm going to start off with a question. Does anybody know anything about Middleton Distillery? It's in Middleton. It's a good start. It's a distillery also, you'll be surprised to know. It's owned by Irish Distillers. Irish Distillers is an amalgamation of three of the four whisky companies that were left in Ireland in the 1960s. Just to explain, we'll start off with Green Spot. This is the Chateau Montelena edition. The history of Green Spot is very simple. The Green Spot brand is still owned by the Mitchells family. So Mitchells had a brilliant wine shop in Dublin City. Mitchells called their whisky Green Spot very simply because when the whisky was ready, they aged their whisky under Merrion Square. Okay, and when the whisky was ready, the master taster, I suppose, for want of a better word, would go in. He'd smell the cask, might have a little nip out of it. And when it was ready, he'd stick a big green splotch on it because an awful lot of the guys, like the porters, couldn't read or write. There was no point in going, "It's ready," written in chalk on it, because the boys wouldn't know what it was. But the big green splotch they knew was 10-year-old whiskey. Okay, and it was ready to go. They did the same with the yellow spot, which was 12-year-old, and the red spot, which was, I think, 16 or 15, yeah. It's the first one on your left-hand side, just in case anybody's colourblind. What I like to do is when we're nosing the whiskey, we keep our mouth open slightly, okay? The reason for that is if you keep your mouth closed, you get a blast of alcohol straight away. It's you're not going to enjoy it so much. It helps it circulate. You'll get more flavours going through there as well, okay? And so I can read to the back of the bottle and tell you what Billy Layton gets, but there's no point in doing that. But does anybody get anything very specific on the nose there? I get some kind of weird banana flavour. So when we're tasting it, we hold it on our tongue for a few seconds. Most people go, "Oh no, it's going to burn." It's exactly the opposite. The longer you hold it on the tongue, the more it's diluted by your saliva, the more the enzymes in your saliva break down the flavour, so you get more flavours off it. So hold it on your tongue for a few seconds before you swallow. What are we getting there on the flavours now? That dryness is at the back. But there's lovely pot still spiciness there. It's quite gentle. It's not a big spiciness, but it's lovely and warm. I hate the word complex, but this is more complex definitely than the standard Green Spot. There's a layer to it that's afterwards, I suppose. So, does anybody else get any other flavours in there?
You're getting the standard kind of buttery taste.
There is. There's we don't like buttery. We say oily. Buttery is one of those words that goes along with gusset and moist, the words we don't like.